Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Going Old School Retro Discussions. It is always awesome to be able to get together and have these discussions about the things that we love from the past. Some old shows, some old toys, old movies and cartoons and everything else. I mean, those things bring back the fond memories. And we got our good buddy Jens. What's going on, Jens? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, doing pretty good actually. So bad, yeah. Got like one of my favorite comedies in that the police academies. So yeah.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a blast. I love this franchise, and I know you and I were discussing it. Like, I think after 3, it kind of fell a little bit off a cliff.
Yeah.
I think up till 3, it was a really good series, and it was a good franchise up to that point. And then it felt like they were just milking the name afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody can revive it and do it right. I mean, it's always possible. I mean, I don't think when they did the National Lampoon's Vacation, when they did that almost like a reboot of the series, so to speak, but it was actually supposed to be a continuation of it. I don't think that was horrible. It wasn't as good as the originals, but I didn't think it was bad either. I think it just was what it was. I mean, who knows? Wookiee Supremacy stopped in. Yeah, be sure to subscribe to Vinny too. Yes, absolutely. And Vinny and I do that show on Thursday where we talk about retro toys. Brutal Morningwood, one of the best names on YouTube. Don't ever change it. What's going on, buddy? Lasso of Truth, how are you doing? Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for retweeting that out for me earlier. And guys, make sure that you retweet this out. Make sure you share it out on social media platforms because YouTube hates guinea pigs. And apparently they got something against Jens too. Just make my round. I am both guinea and pig. So, you know. Solar Warden, how are you doing? Greetings. Shadowhawk Bax, what's up, buddy? How you doing? The lovely Sherry. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat as well. Slasher, what's going on? Slash, why aren't you up here, Slasher? I'm pretty sure you're still part of that group with the link. If you're not, let us know and we can send you the link. Chris Fisk, what's going on, buddy? Guys, make sure to check out Infinitale Chronicle. War of the Trees. Chris has put together an amazing comic right there. I got mine. I did a review on it. It was absolutely amazing. All the stuff that he put in that box, too. He went well above and beyond. He didn't need to. Who remembers the old HBO intro? I vaguely remember it. Wookiee's firing it up. Everybody's saying hello to each other in the chats. Jens, what's the soy nerd doing here?
I don't know. Where is Gary? Where are you, Gary? Oh, my channel's under attack. Even though I attacked someone's film, but he attacked my channel.
Raquel, how are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome. And Vet, what's going on? I hope you are doing well. So, of course, one of the things that we're going to talk about first is we're going to talk about Police Academy. It was one of those series that I really enjoyed as a child. I remember having a lot of memories like hanging around with my brother watching this one. And there was actually a bit of a joke that we had going on because there was one scene with Hightower when he's in the back of the paddy wagon. I think it was in part 2 where he's sitting there doing this llama, 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 llama. And somehow that joke got started. My brother was parroting that. And somehow his nickname became Llama for a little while. It was kind of funny. I don't know. Weirder things have happened.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, like, I was one of them kids who, like, watched it, but it was a 15 or something, wasn't it? Because I'm sure it was over a PG. It wasn't an 18 because you didn't. But I'm sure it was about a 15 though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
it definitely wasn't rated R or nothing like that. But I mean, it did have some elements that today they may question. Especially with the humor that they use. Like, this film absolutely could not be made in today's environment, I don't think.
No. Well, like...
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, there was too much comedy for it to be made today.
My favorite bit is at the end when the guy is giving a speech and someone else is under the podium. Yeah. Yo, King of Squibs, what's going on, buddy? Squib Nation in the house. Always good to see you as well. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Well, as we always do here on Retro Discussions, we'd like to get everybody a chance to just kind of like get into the feels of it. So we do like a small clip. I'm trying to use more of my own style of music, just because they, these companies like to play games with the music. So let's hope that this kind of hits the feels in the right spot. So here we go.
So today we will be talking about Neil Israel, Pat Croft, Hugh Wilson written and Hugh Wilson directed, 1984 Police Academy, starring Steve Guttenberg as Carrie Mahoney, Kim Cattrall as Karen Thompson, G.W. Bailey as Lieutenant Harris, Bubba Smith as Moses Hightower, Donovan Scott as Leslie Barbara, George Gaines as Commandant Lassard, Andrew Rubin as George Martin, David Graff as Tackleberry, Leslie Easterbrook, Sergeant Callahan, Michael Winslow as Larvell Jones, and a host of other accompanying actors. So, the year is 1984, and the Mayoress has removed set personal criteria from the requirements to join the police force. No longer is sex, weight, height, and orientation a factor. Well, good God. Tommy, this sounds like this movie is kind of diverse and a little bit woke. Trust me, it's not. Because, you know what? People that are part of that type of culture do not like this kind of comedy. Anyway, this now allows for an insurgence of people applying. The Police Academy series follows a select group of misfits in their quest to become policemen and women. The first film of the series follows these misfits in their time at the Police Academy. The main focus is on a petty criminal called Mahoney. Mahoney is busted for criminal damage and as punishment is forced to go to Police Academy. Mahoney initially feels that this isn't the right place for him, and he makes it his mission to be thrown out, as he is not allowed to quit. As the classes go by and the training exercises are played out, Mahoney soon realizes that he is actually enjoying the academy, does want to become a police officer. We are also introduced to the gun maniac Tackleberry, the very tall Hightower, the voluptuous Callahan, and Squeaky Hooks.
So, I mean, just a brief introduction to get everybody going. Again, I see a few other people have actually popped into the chat. What's going on, Parrot Head? Blue Oyster Bar. Who could forget about the Blue Oyster Bar? Nerium. Hello, Nerium. There he is, the most generous piggy of them all. Thank you for supporting the 12 Gazes of Christmas charity, Tommy. Tommy's our first hero supported a good cause. You know what? That's just what we do. Don't say that too loud, because then people are not going to think I'm the asshole that I'm supposed to be. Wookie Supremacy, didn't Police Academy have bare titties? I believe there was a scene. Yes.
I'll tell you which scene it was. It was when Mahoney, to get kicked out, is just staring in the female showers with a beer. And then Biggie comes up and catches him and that. And so he takes the beer off him, has a look, and then the women see him and start screaming. So he just chucks the beer and runs.
Red Gaze, what's going on? Red Gaze, what's going on? Chris Viz, Tackleberry was my favorite cop. When he saw boobs, he looked like he didn't know what to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. And there was the scene where they're having the beach party and they start taking the tops off whilst Tackleberry's playing his sax, and he can't like concentrate on his sax. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Red Gaze. If you guys haven't, Chris Fisk is actually singing Red Gaze's latest Gazes of Christmas song. Last Christmas, I trusted a fart. He's doing some hilarious stuff with that. Black Cop with the voices was awesome. Yeah. God, I just said his name too, and now I'm blanking on it. But yeah, he played LeVar Jones. What's going on, Bone? But him and all those voices, and he was legitimately making all those noises too. Like every one of those noises he was doing, he legitimately can do that. Like they call him like a human voice box because of all the weird sounds that he can create.
Yeah, because he used to do it as a comedy act before he got the part, because that's why they give him the part, because they sort of writ him in after seeing his act, because I think in number 3, or it could be number 2, he does like a Jimi Hendrix tribute where he does like feedback on the
You
mic.
know what? He did something similar in Cheech and Chong. I think it was Nice Streams.
Yeah.
He was doing like the Jimi Hendrix thing, you know.
Yeah. Well, I know he does it in Police Academy. Yeah.
And Solar Warden also brings up that he was in Spaceballs. Yep, because he was making the sounds. Yes, sir. I lost the bleeps, the creeps, or what was it? The bleeps, the meeps, and the creeps. And he was making the sound effects. Yeah, he was awesome doing that. Absolutely awesome. I think like most of the cast in this were actually perfectly cast too, because this was a very good comedy in itself, and it didn't really have any lulls like a lot of the comedy movies did at the time. Like a lot of the comedy movies had like a bit of a lull, you know, there was a lot of good comedy and then it kind of died. This one didn't really seem to have it, because even when they were trying to be serious, it was still comedic in a way. And then there was very few movies that did this. I think Porky's was another franchise that managed to pull that off, because even when it was serious, there was still a little bit of a comedy element to it. Yeah, we lost the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Whatever happened to him, I think he just got tired of it. Yeah, Black Guy was in Nice Streams. Yep, absolutely. I would sing that part of it, but they'd probably say that I'm being racist because I'm parroting something from a movie.
Yeah, Michael Winslow.
Yes. Yes.
Because I saw him in the last film I saw him in was something to do with David Hasselhoff, and he was at sort of like David Hasselhoff's party and that, and this dude was trying to drug Michael Hasselhoff, because I forget exactly. I think he has to get him to do wants Michael Hasselhoff to do something, and so he wants to get him drugged up so he can kidnap him or something like that. But Michael Winslow's character, because he plays himself and that, he drinks it and he starts doing a robot and goes, and they just fall into a pool.
Yeah, no, Solar Warden, I would agree with that one too. Revenge of Nerds didn't really lull either. That was another good one. Like almost from start to finish, it was entertaining. David.
And it had boobs in.
But like, when I first seen this, like the character of Mahoney was actually the one that took me a little bit to warm up to.
Well, I don't mind.
It's not that I minded him, but I didn't warm up to him like some of the other characters. Like some of the other characters, I just found more entertaining, especially like Tackleberry, because he felt so ridiculously out of place at everything he was doing, and he was just so over the top with everything that he did as well. Yeah,
well, Steve Guttenberg's character was supposed to be the average, everyday sort of guy. But I'd seen him in, because I think I'd seen 3 Men and a Baby before I'd seen Police Academy. It was one of them where it was on video sort of thing, and so all right. And so I didn't mind Steve Guttenberg, because I thought he played the character quite well, and that, as in he was a bit of an arsehole, but that was supposed to be his character, but not too much of an arsehole.
I get what you're saying. You know what? It kind of reminded me a little bit of Bill Murray in Stripes, just a tad. Here's somebody who was in trouble, and his last resort was to go into the military. This time, it's a police academy. And so it kind of gave me those same vibes a little. I obviously, if you're trying to compare Steve Guttenberg to Bill Murray, it's just not happening.
Yeah. But I thought, though, because I thought it started lacking after Guttenberg left, because they tried to replace him with his cousin. Sort of
not only him, but a lot of the other people didn't come back as well. Like Bubba Smith didn't come back for all of them. Hightower, I'm pretty sure he didn't come back for all of them. I think one of the few people that did was the guy who was playing Tackleberry.
Yeah, because by number 6, I think Tackleberry was sort of like the main character with the wait there, what's her name? The like Sergeant Baird.
Yeah. I just said it earlier too. Oh, jeez.
Leslie
That's terrible.
Easterbrook, Sergeant
Callahan, yeah.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be like the female Dirty Harry, where it's just rough and tough.
Except she was a real woman.
Oh yeah. But to be fair to her though, she could carry off that part because you could tell she had done a bit of training in a day. Because the bit where she's like doing karate training and no one wants to do it, and so she gets to the what's his name? He was like the fat loser dude. Donovan Scott, I think. Leslie Barbara, because Leslie called him Leslie and that. And so she gets him and like slams him down, throws it, and then like sits on his like face nearly, and that, and then they all want to go. But yeah, because like she was like physically capable of like doing some moves and that.
I think she would be physically intimidating for somebody like Walton. You know, Walton is about as tall as a gnome, and I think somebody like that would just scare the living dog shit out of him.
But Stephen, he'd probably fucking like be more sort of happy with Brooks, wouldn't he?
Absolutely. Chris Fisk. They should have had Michael Winslow have a guest appearance on Family Matters as a visiting cousin to the Winslow family. Him teamed up with Urkel would have rocked. Wookie's like, David Hasselhoff? I'm confused. Oh, and what's going on, Snowdub? Welcome, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'll have to see, because the main characters, the Chinese dude from the Hangover films, it was somewhat Get Hoff, I think, or somewhat like that.
Oh, yeah, Parrothead, I did check that. So Parrothead sent me something, and he says, since the fall of 2008, Winslow has hosted the motion picture television series called Way Back Wednesday with Winslow on the cable superstation WGN America, which features movies mostly released in the 1980s. He continues to perform stand-up comedy around the globe. Interesting. That he's kept busy. That's pretty awesome. Wookie, what are you up to, Wookie? Show it, Tommy. There's nothing to show. It's just an article. In the animated series, Tackleberry and Callahan were an item. The fake Latin lover character didn't exist after the first film.
Yeah, because he put on a fake accent.
Now, as far as this series, when it started getting into the other ones, like I said earlier, I liked when they went to Part 2 and Part 3. I didn't like how they changed the main villain guy, because you noticed, like the first one, you had the what was that, Proctor, and the other guy. Like they changed him at some point. I can't remember which movie was it. Was it from the first to the second one he was changed, I think? Because they went from the police academy to the force, and then they had a different guy that was basically the villain, but the same character, Proctor, carried over to the second movie, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. The funny bit with Proctor in that was when he's water skiing, and he falls over and that, and so they're just getting dragged on his ass, and then when he comes out the water, he's got like chaps on because it's like cut away his swimsuit.
Oh yeah, when Bobcat Goldthwait was in Part 2, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then he wound up being he was in Part 3 as well.
Yeah, because he joins the police academy, doesn't he? And
Citizens on Patrol.
Yeah, and the doodle's shop he was doing over who broke his arm and that. He's all like has to team up with him, doesn't he?
Yes. I don't remember. I don't think Bobcat Goldthwait did 4. I don't think, or maybe he did. I remember him being in 3, maybe 4, but he wasn't in the rest of them. Not that I recall.
Yeah, I think he did 3, 2 and 3. Oh,
I'm self-employed.
Here we go. It's called Killing Hasselhoff. That film with oh shit! Wait there, I can't find his Michael Winslow. Yeah, he has like a little bit part in it. He has a little 5-minute cameo role. So like, yeah, he's not massive in the film, but he's in the film. And the bit he does is quite funny. He's been in his Michael Winslow self and that.
Yeah, Chris. When they replace the shampoo with super glue.
Oh yeah, and yeah, and then he's like singing in the shower, going Bowser, and he's like, oh, and then he goes to get a towel, and Michael Winslow as what's his as Jones does his like dog impression, and then he thinks the dog's gonna bite his ball.
Get that dog back! Get that dog back! Yeah, he took his eyebrows came off in that one too. And then Proctor's sitting there drawing the new eye. Oh, this looks great. This looks great. And he's like throwing the mirror around his head. Oh, it looks wonderful. It looks perfect. It was 2 and 3. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought because I didn't think he was in 4. Yeah, the hairy palms. Yep, that was absolutely hilarious. I think that they really did well with that series. Like I said, all the way up to 3, and then 4 just started going downhill. And I would say by the time they hit 6, they just ran it off a cliff. Oh, Bobcat was in 2 through 4? Oh, okay. I thought it was just probably 2 and 3. I wasn't sure about 4, but okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Because after that, I mean, they like 5 and 6. I think 5 and 6 were pretty bad. But that first one was so classic. When that first came out, like that was a good comedy. That's how you made good comedy movies. You put a little bit of serious elements into it while still keeping that comedy edge, and that was something that they were able to do back then with the type of humor that they were able to deliver, like the type of humor that people would be offended by now, like some of the dumb shit that they did.
Oh yeah, well, if I can go off it on my sexist rant, there weren't many women in that writer's room. I don't think. You'd have had 1 or 2, but it's mainly dude's humor because there were some jokes in that where it was pretty wacky, and so only the sick mind of a dude will be able to come up with that.
Chris says he had the Zed action figure from the cartoon. I barely remember the cartoon myself. And I know I had to have seen it at some point, but I don't know why. I am just not like vividly recalling it.
Yeah, but it'd be one of them where to get Police Academy onto a cartoon for kids, it would be like, yeah.
Well, it's got to be over time. Well, I mean, they did the same thing with Beetlejuice back in the 80s. They put him in the cartoon.
Yeah. They usually change it so much that it's like it's not as good as like.
No, well, this is. I mean, everybody's got to know the reason why they were making so many of these different movies in the cartoons at the time, because they were looking for licensing agreements, because they knew that's where the money was. When you make a movie and you can have a licensing agreement for toys and other merchandise, that's where the real money is. I mean, George Lucas found that out. I mean, George Lucas didn't think much about the toys initially. He thought, oh, it would just be something nice to tie in promotionally with the movies and everything like that. He didn't realize how big of a juggernaut the actual toy industry was going to be, especially with stuff like Star Wars, like these big franchises. And that's why he got screwed initially when he ran that deal with freaking Kenner. Like he got hosed in the original deal. And I think he was making like, what was it, like, anywhere from 5 to 15 cents a figure. That's all he was getting. The studio was getting more than him, and Kenner was getting the lion's share, and Kenner made out like bandits off that initial run of the toy line. And it wasn't until they renegotiated after Empire that he got a better deal.
Yeah.
He got hosed initially. So a
I
franchise like this, I was going to say a franchise like this, though, like just as a standalone to be able to try to make like toys accompanying a movie like this, it would not have sold at all. So that's why they started looking into the cartoon so they could have those promotional tie-ins that would make more sense.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, Harrison Ford, he sort of like wanted, like, instead of getting paid, he wanted the rights to his figure, wanted it, so he took payment from like how many figures his Han Solo sold.
Yeah, so I think I remember seeing it, but I'm just not recalling it vividly. And no doubt about it. Once Gutenberg came out of it and the Mahoney character, it's some no-name guy. The franchise went south. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it took me a while to warm up to the Steve Gutenberg character of Mahoney, but once it did, I really didn't enjoy the series without him after that. What's going on, LDG? I'm glad you found your way here. Was that a double? Thanking him for being here and a joke? It might have been. They're big. No, go ahead, Jens. You had something else you wanted to throw on there about that? What's going on, Sporking?
Yeah, I was just say about the Harrison Ford. Yeah, there was something to do with him wanting the rights to the action figure of Han Solo instead of taking payment instead of taking money, should I say, for payment for making the Star Wars, because I think he had a good idea, like, oh yeah, they were going to sell loads of toys, because the better the sort of like film and that, but the more toys and other sort of products you're going to sell. Like Spider-Man, that sells loads, isn't it? Like there's always like usually a Spider-Man action figure getting sold in the shops.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, I understand, they want to get like some kind of compensation for their likeness. But at the same time, when they're signing those deals with those movie companies, they're signing away their likeness for that character on the movie. So technically, it could be argued when these toys are being made, they're not really selling the likeness of the actor as so much as they're selling the likeness of the character that was portrayed in the movie.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it is where, like, you've shown some figures where the face hasn't been like looking that much to the character, but that's because they've got they haven't got the rights to the character's face. So yeah, they have like took after the Star Wars figures. Yeah, I think they took marketing, face branding, and that. Like,
well, absolutely, because after Star Wars, when he wound up doing Indiana Jones, and they created a whole line of toys off there. They had the 3 3/4-inch figures, they had the big 12-inch dials, and the likenesses on those were amazing. There was a lot better of a deal that they had right there to be able to use the likeness of Harrison Ford for all those figures, and they looked great. Unfortunately, those toys didn't sell as well because they had to pay out so much more, to freaking Ford and other people that they got the likeness from. And that's why that toy line didn't do that well.
Yeah, it's a bit great. But back to the film, though, where Snowdub says Blue Oyster joke in that movie would not be done today because it's offensive. Yeah, they'd have to, like, be smiling and that whilst they're dancing.
Absolutely. Well, we all know what it means, so we know what the joke is, and of course, certain people in the the multi-letter communities would just get all upset about it. It's so ridiculous. I mean, that's a problem with most people today, and that's why movies like this can't be done anymore, because people don't know how to take a damn joke anymore. Everything's got to be, I got to be offended. No, you really don't. You chose to be offended. And these type of movies are actually still laughing at you today. You just don't realize it yet. And what's going on, Brightest Stage? Always good to see you, buddy. Police Academy toys. This is a dumb idea. Is there a Blue Oyster playset? I would hope so.
Yeah.
I hope I hope there's a shower scene playset too.
What, from Porky's?
that would actually be hilarious.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing the toys. I mean, I vaguely remember the cartoon. I don't remember ever seeing the toys. That's sounds hilarious, though.
Yeah, I think they will do, though, because they used to, just with the Rambo, sort of do a cartoon just so they could do a toy to sell to the kids. Oh, yeah, there's looking like there's a few. Oh! Yeah. Yeah, images.
No, say it's not so, Nerium. You need to rewatch it. Assless chaps sold separately. Wouldn't they just be like an add-on for the figure? They'd be like the Barbie selection clothes. You would think that you would have, oh God, what was his name? Captain Mauser. You would think you would have a Captain Mauser with removable eyebrows.
There we go, though. Oh, shit, no.
Okay. You know what? Now I'm looking at this. I do vaguely remember seeing them.
Yeah. They've obviously done it from the cartoon, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What's going on, Shadow Bad Man?
Yeah, because I'm looking for the Blue Oyster play set, but I don't think they do that. No.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a travesty.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make that one up. Get a cardboard box and a few crayons.
All chaps are essentially assless. Yeah, so they actually had that Kerry Mahoney, huh?
Yeah.
Zed? Why does it look like a monkey?
I don't know, but look at it. He's got a hang glider, but I don't think it would work. So if you chuck that off a third story sort of window, yeah, I think it's going to just smash to the ground.
What's going on, Keely Chow? Talking about Police Academy, and apparently they had toys after the animated show.
Yes, it's the Police Academy police station.
The precinct.
Yeah, which it looks a lot like the Ghostbusters a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. You know what? A lot of those companies would actually repurpose a lot of the toys that they had. So if they had one play set, they would just do a few changes here, maybe swap the colors out, and they would just create a whole nother play set. I mean, that label swapping shit. I've talked about that numerous times, that a lot of those companies would do that, and it was an easy way to get around everything. They already have the molds. Why not?
Yeah, I think on this you said, all right, just put some bars instead of having the gate doors. I mean, having the Ghostbusters sort of door. And yeah, we'll call it the Police Academy precinct.
Yeah. You know, they I remember the Rambo and RoboCop actually got a cartoon series, and they got toy lines as well.
Yeah.
I actually have a few of the RoboCops left now. I've got two of RoboCop himself. I've got the regular gray version, like the gray metal version, and then I've got the one that was glow in the dark. I have both of them because they were cap firing on the back. And from the house, there was an Ed 209, and then my brother had a bunch of the bad guys. Like there was one guy named Tiger Shark or something from the cartoon or whatever. But yeah, they were actually pretty cool looking. They didn't look bad at all. The Rambo figures, I vaguely remember them as well.
I had it, and I've been watching the cartoons and that, and Gripper was his name. He had like a metal left sort of grip for a hand.
Yeah. They had like a big like metal claw or something.
Yeah. It was like a grip. That's why they called him Gripper. But I think there was the ability to sharpen it out and make it into a claw. But I had them and that, and yeah, I didn't even know about the cartoon because in the UK we didn't. I didn't ever see the Rambo cartoon. I've seen it now online, but when I bought them, I didn't know about it, and I thought because the Rambo like figure was pretty much similar to the Rambo film, that like I thought it was just from the film. I'll bring it up though because
well, you know, one of the things I do remember is after they made the cartoon is they had a lot of other things. Like they had like, you know, the little dart guns they used to have. This is before like Nerf really took over. They had those dart guns with the little suction cup on the end and hard plastic on the shaft and everything. I remember they had a bunch of Rambo dart guns that came out after the cartoon. I recall those. And Parrot Head, great example of swapping right there was Battle Cat, because that came from the Big Jim toy line, and they just repainted it to turn it into Battle Cat. Absolutely. What's going on, Soul Assassin? Yes, the Police Academy building looks like the Ghostbusters one. We were talking about that. I remember my brother having the RoboCop toy car. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a few more Rambo toy out, but I think the more adult like ones. But
I remember that series right there where it's got all the bad guys, the guy with the beret and everything, and the eye patch.
Yeah.
All the way down at the bottom. Yeah, that one. I remember that one.
Yeah. Well, that was the Gripper what I had, but the Rambo one, because there was two Rambos. There was one where he had his like T-shirt on, but there was one where I think it was like that, but
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's it might be. Yeah. So
yeah, I remember that rocket launcher too, because I had the string attached so the projectile wouldn't get lodged anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, toy makers knew our parents were letting kids watch R-rated movies. Absolutely. Hey, Chaos Hoy, what's going on, buddy? I hope you were doing well. I'm doing all right. I remember the Police Academy cartoon, but does anyone remember the Police Academy live action series?
No.
That's a new one. I didn't know they did a live action series. I mean, I know a lot of weird live action series that were done off of movies. Like one of the ones that almost nobody ever remembers is Logan's Run. Logan's Run actually had a very short-lived TV series after the movie. Half Dead, Off to the Land of Dreams, Be a Good Piggy, Tommy, Nibble at the Toes, Night Peeps. Miriam, you be well. Thank you for stopping in. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Get some rest. Darius, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Rambo, the Force of Freedom. Yes.
Yeah. There we go, though. A lot. It's just problems of Police Academy.
Yeah. Wookiee supremacy. The suction cups would come off those darts and you could glue pins on the shafts and they'd stick pretty good. Yeah, Warsaw Pact. God, there were so many of those weird cartoons they did. I remember when the real Ghostbusters first came out, I was like, what the hell is this? Yo, Justin Proper. What's going on, Justin? Hope you were doing well. But there were so many of these movies that they were just making into cartoons. And of course, like I said, the idea behind it was so they could advertise for toys, so they could create that market, the merchandise, because that's where the real money was. I mean, really, like I was saying earlier, if you look at Star Wars and the amount of money that the merchandise for a Star Wars franchise drew in as opposed to the movie itself, the merchandise blew the movie out of the water with the amount of revenue that it collected. But yeah, they actually had a live action TV series for it as well.
Hmm.
Eric Lassard Police Arcade. Proper Jenny. Wookie. Police Academy / RoboCop mashup would be epic.
Yeah. That's that bit where he's showing some self-defense classes.
Right? And that is the perfect move for her to use, too. Because who is going to fight out of it?
Yeah.
Pay attention. That is the martial arts move for women that always works.
Yeah.
Nothing soy about that move, right, Jens?
No, it's like female hips and legs are usually quite strong in that, especially if you train. And so the best place to choke a man out is with your hips and legs.
Awesome. But no, I mean, I really did enjoy this franchise. I really enjoyed the first movie, obviously. I mean, I enjoyed the second one too, because I like a lot of what they did in the second one and the third one. But like I said, after that, it kind of falls off a bit of a cliff for me. But the first movie is the one that starts it all off. The first one is the one that actually creates a franchise out of it because it was so well done. And it was like every single character that they had in there are an integral part of that story. And some of the really brash comedy that they used back then, that is why this thing became a cult classic almost overnight. Like this is another one of those films, like a lot of the other ones in the 80s, that they were like instant classics, like stuff like 48 Hours, stuff like Beverly Hills Cop, Police Academy, Porky's, like all these things were like cult classics. They didn't necessarily have to be the big money earners on the screen, but they were remembered for exactly what they brought, and they brought a lot of fun. They brought a lot of excitement that you wanted to watch these movies. It wasn't like, such and such is on again, and I guess I'll watch it. There's nothing better on. You knew if like Police Academy or Porky's or something like that was coming out. Oh shit, that's coming on TV. I'm sitting there. I'm going to be watching that tonight. I love that movie, and that's how it was back then. And I mean, honestly, I don't get a lot of that with today's movies. Now I know there's a few of them that have been coming out recently. People have been saying like they're pretty decent. Like people were talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I don't even have the time right now to go see it. Like maybe since I have my brother down here, like update folks, in case you didn't know, my brother's actually come down from Jersey, and he's actually staying with me for now until he winds up getting all his paperwork and he winds up going into the nursing home down here. So maybe I'll take my brother out to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife if it's still playing. I don't know if I have that opportunity, but a lot of these other movies, I could care less. I don't care about them. I'm not even interested. And I think that's sad. Called the cat beard.
I forgot because I don't even know like if I've seen them before now. But Steve Guttenberg returns apparently, and Sharon Stone's in it. So I might have to like watch that to check if I've seen it. But here we go though. foul that Police Academy TV series.
1997 to 1998, huh?
Yeah. Didn't even know that happened.
I got to see if I can find a copy of that somewhere.
Depending on. But I don't know. Officer Jones returns. I don't know. Could be. Yeah. But yeah, maybe
if they actually did have that many people in there, that's probably why that series didn't last very long. Because you imagine the budget on something like that with all those actors that were in a movie. I don't care if they're like A-listers or not. They could be B and C listers, but once they're in a movie, they go up just a little bit. Their value goes up just a little bit.
Yeah, and when one gets a raise, they all want a raise, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Glenzer, what's going on? Welcome. Sadly, today, Hollywood would make defund the police academy. And you know what? I totally believe that one. Yeah, Wookie, that was a good one. It's so true, though. It's pathetically true, and it's sad. Like, I mean, where has the element of having a good time gone with these people nowadays? Because, like I said, they can't sit back and laugh at this and laugh at what it does. I mean, I know a lot of people who are on both sides of the fences, like, people that are super toxic and super, I'm heterosexual, and then there's people that are super gay, and all of them could still sit there and say, oh yeah, Police Academy was absolutely hilarious, even though there was some jokes thrown at people who were, gay. They didn't care. They thought it was funny. It wasn't a personal attack, as somebody might say. They didn't care. They knew it was entertainment. People today just don't understand that.
Yeah. Well,
they're locked up in their "I'm ready to be offended" box.
Yeah, in that scene with the Blue Oyster, the butt of the jokes is the two dudes that go in there and have to dance with them. That is the butt of the joke, that they're being sort of like made to be like bitches and have to dance with these dudes. But like now, it'd be just because fucking homosexuals were like seen as like minces and that, because that like ballroom dancing, and so because they're a bit of it'd be like, oh, you can't stereotype homosexuals to be minces. So yeah.
No, I think it was absolutely great. I think it didn't really. Yeah. I don't think it really did any damage to anybody. It poked fun, especially And if you're looking at it from that perspective, if you're gay and you're looking at it, you got to look at it like that's absolutely hilarious. That happened to two people who are straight.
Yeah,
that was, like you're saying, that is the joke right there, that they didn't know how to react to that situation. So I mean, that's the funny part. Chris is offended about it right now. And Lasso of Truth, it's because victimhood is currency now. Absolutely.
And then it sets up the joke for later on, where, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, the getting chased and that, and one of them twists his ankle, and so they're all like, oh, well, let's just run into here and it's locked. Oh, well, we'll try this one and it's open, and you hear
soul assassin. People could take jokes back then. Nowadays are too soft and no backbone. Absolutely. Well, I mean, like I said, they're just ready to be offended. You couldn't make this type of movie today. Damn sure couldn't make this kind of series or even cartoon now. Like, even in a moderately toned down version of it, people would get upset. And really, if you look at it, this movie hits a lot of the points that these idiots are clamoring for right now. There's all kinds of different representations in it. There's, their diversity and blah. Like, everything is actually included in this movie, but it wasn't thrown in your face. You weren't being preached at about any of it. It was just there. It wasn't the sole purpose of the movie to say, oh, well, we've got all these different people. No, it was all these different personalities. That's what it was. And that's the difference between the entertainment then with stuff like Police Academy and the trash that they're putting out now. Is they can't just tell a good story, even if it is diverse or this, that, and the other thing. They just can't tell a story without sitting there harping on it like, well, look what we did and look at the people we had and blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Chris Fisk, we're seeing what multiple generations of being raised by single moms does to a society. Hypersensitive adult-age children.
Yeah.
It's the soy. Tell them about it, Jens. It's the soy.
Oh, yeah. Well, the soybean, the skin is not going to make you grow breasts, but the rest of the bean will. And so if you're chancing on them scraping that skin so good that you're not going to grow breasts, you take it. But I'm not. And for women, get this, for women, it ages them. So you have effeminate men with old-aged women, which I know it sounds weird, but I don't make the rules. I just sort of like know them.
Yeah, we just see these things and we just point it out. We are not creating these myths. Please consult your doctor if you feel like you're overly effeminate.
Oh well, them Impossible Burgers. If you're eating some of them, cut them out before you consult a doctor, because I know if you're eating 6 of them burgers, you're practically taking a hormone replacement pill.
You may not know it now, but after having an Impossible Burger, you're probably going to stop by like a TJ Maxx looking for a skirt on the way home if you're a guy. Saul Assassin, if they were made now, the films would be full of stereotypes and politics. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's so funny, too, because, you know, they talk about they bash on all these people back. You put all these stereotypes in there. They're the first ones that run the stereotypes to begin with. Like, I mean, how many times they talk about, oh, well, they're, you know, these black people, they got to do this in the film or they got to do that in the film because that's the way it needs to be. Well, wait a minute. Aren't you stereotyping them? Like they sit there and they worry about, oh, well, I mean, how many times have we seen recently like in movies where they try to portray a black guy as not being intelligent enough to be able to do anything. And matter of fact, you even have the administrations talking about like saying, oh, they can't figure out how to get driver's license. Holy shit. Do you realize how freaking racist you sound? Like that shit really disappeared. Like a good chunk of it had disappeared by the time the 80s and the 90s were rolling around. You really didn't see it quite as much. Not to say that it's completely gone, but you didn't see it as much. You're seeing more of it now with these virtue signaling idiots than you ever did in the 80s.
Yeah, I think Prince and Rude Paul back in the 80s and like 90s, they became big stars. So it was like, right, well, being blacker than a effeminate don't really stop you.
No, absolutely, Elasto Truth. Yeah, they can't do math. Yeah, it's such bullshit. It's absolute nonsense. But yeah, like movies like this made fun. It was making fun of that culture that wasn't even out yet, really, when you think about it. A lot of it. Because really, like some of the dumbest people in there were the white guys. Mauser and Proctor, especially Proctor. He was just a full-blown idiot. He was the dumbest person in the film, in the series of those films.
Yeah.
But, you know, people obviously just look past that stuff and they just say it's just racist, it's homophobic. Oh, we got a turtle with us. What up, Shellback?
Hello.
Yo, your mic's a bit low. Shellback one.
What? I said hello.
Yeah. Well, we can hear you now. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, how are you?
Not so bad. How are you?
Bloody hell. We got a Shellback and we got a Jens. This is amazing. Oh, so you have some fond memories of Police Academy there, Shellback?
Oh, you know what? I actually saw a DVD set at Walmart last night.
Yeah.
and I almost got it, but I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's more important things that I need that money for right now, or else I would have bought that shit. But the thing is, it was like a you know the people, the people signs on the on bathrooms, whatever that
Man and
that
female.
image for like a man or a woman. Well, basically that's what the cover was, except they had a cop hat on it, but it was the same type of drawing. I don't know, it was kind of cool, but I was like kind of disappointed that it didn't have like the act like that picture, or something.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
no, man,
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead,
I
Trebek.
I loved which he didn't show up until the second one, I think. Bobcat, right? Bobcat
Yes,
didn't
yeah,
show
he showed up in the second one.
But I loved freaking what was I mean, Steve Gutenberg, of course, he's like the main guy, and Steve Gutenberg was killing it, in the 80s.
Be well,
But
Scott. Thank you for stopping in.
was it was I'm trying to remember. Bubba Smith, was he Hightower or?
Yes, he was Hightower.
Okay, and then the other dude, the white dude, the one that was like super gung ho and
Tackleberry.
Yeah, Tackleberry.
Tackleberry, yes, that's what it was, Tackleberry. Yeah, I love Tackleberry, but no, man, but I loved them all, but like even with the those great dudes, I'm sorry, but you just had to love the little black gal, who was always so quiet.
Hooks.
Yeah. But because she was all quiet.
We're gonna get you a nice little office and a nice little room for your nice little boys.
But that first time that she just like piped up, right? That first time she piped up, you're like, whoa!
Don't move, dirtbag. I see we have a few more people joining us real quick. I want to say hi to them. Gap Stargate, what's going on? Welcome, Eric K. What's going on, buddy? I hope you were doing well. Who, me? Hey, what's up? Welcome. Good to see you. And NC Ricky, what's up, Ensign Ricky? Good to see you, buddy.
I want to know when Ensign Ricky is going to become Lieutenant JG Ricky. when is he going to get that promotion, or is he going to end up like Henry Kim, and like the forever ensign,
Is it possible he doesn't want to go beyond ensign because he's afraid they're going to make him a red shirt?
No, well, that's the thing though. The red shirts, red shirts don't get killed anymore. They changed the red shirts, to like, the command people and whatnot. So now the the people that have the tendency to get killed are they're in gold now, I think. Yeah, so they switched it, man.
Ensign Ricky says the best is where the guy comes out with the shotgun, waves it around, and everyone but Tackleberry ducks out of the way. He's the only one that knows the gun wasn't a danger.
Yeah, it's on the shooting range where, I think his name, Leslie. Yeah, where it's Leslie. He blows away like fucking the innocent because he don't know what he's doing. Yeah, and then he turns around.
Well, didn't he blow away the target too when he was still at the academy during training because he pulled out that freaking big giant freaking howitzer?
Yeah, well, he just ain't got no trigger control, so he like because when he blows it away, he's got it pointed to his side, and then he just like gives it the gun back, doesn't he? There's a good scene though where he beats up like them bullies at the end with his nightstick.
Oh, that was a good scene too. Like part 4 right there where he's handing the old lady the gun. Like, oh yeah, give it a shot, and it like knocks her on her ass.
Yeah.
What's going on, Shifty? They could never remake Police Academy in this day and age, but Paul Rudd would make a great Mahoney if they tried.
No. Yeah, I could see that.
Tackleberry going apeshit in Hogan's Alley.
Well, and here's the way it would for them to do that correctly. Okay, is take a a clue or whatever you want to say from Cobra Kai and from Ghostbusters Afterlife, right? And if they tried to do Police Academy again with Paul Rudd, have Paul Rudd be Steve Gutenberg's son.
Yeah. A continuation instead of a reboot.
Yeah.
You know what? I see this, Chris. I hear you. I can kind of see it to a degree, but quite honestly, I think I could see Ryan Reynolds playing that part better. Because Ryan Reynolds just comes across as a little bit more goofy than Chris Pratt. And Tackleberry was definitely goofy.
I don't know. I don't know. I could see either one as Tackleberry, but like I said though, I don't know that I would want a remake.
Well, I hear you. Like where you're saying, like a continuation instead of a remake, kind of like from what I heard that they did with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like once again, I haven't had time to go see it. I mean, so many things hit me all at once over the past like 2 weeks. With JJ and then my brother coming down and having to watch out for him and make sure like all his needs are taken care of. I mean, so I haven't had the time to run out and see that movie, but I keep hearing such good things about it that it was done right. So. No rain boots.
Yeah, there's that clip of Leslie where he like just pulls the trigger when he's just walking towards the like shooting range and he shoots like a innocent like target that you're not supposed to shoot, as in like shooting target.
Gap Stargate, I know what you meant because you got it right the first time, like no reboots right here. And I just had to read it as no rain boots. And, I sure hope that you don't want to go to Kmart. Just a joke there. Rain Man joke. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Harris always remind me of Sergeant Carter from Gomer Pyle. Rain boots. No more rain boots. Yeah, can we get a no more rain boots going in the chat right now?
Kmart, yeah. Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, Kmart. Yeah,
It got to definitely be Kmart. Definitely has to be Kmart.
And we'll get that fat Hawaiian dude who sang Over the Rainbow to do a version of No More Rainbow Boots.
Yeah.
No more rainbow boots.
Well, he'd have to do it from the Afterlife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Izzy is no longer with us.
Shit, yeah. That's well.
Yeah, I would definitely like recommend to anybody that's in the chat that still haven't seen Police Academy or hasn't watched it in a while, go back and watch that first one. I know at one point they were available on Netflix. Records, and I'm trying to remember somewhere else that actually had the movies too. I don't remember if it was HBO Max or who it was, but there was a couple of these streaming services that actually had the movies still available. So if you have a chance, go back and rewatch these. They're so much fun, much fun to watch it. But I'm gonna close the Police Academy one out right now. So last thoughts on that. I mean, what would you give the franchise as a whole? Like 1 through 10, what would you give it?
A good 8 or 9. Well, that's because the last two, let's sit down a bit. It'd be like 10 out of 10. Because like 1 and 2, they get a good 9 and 10. Like number 1 gets a 10, definitely.
I see a lot of the no rain boots are going in the chat. This is awesome. Like, you know what, Gap Stargate, it started off as a joke because Siri couldn't understand the accent, and I understand it completely. You should see some of the things that translates for me when I try to do the speech to text. It's horrendous. So I get you. But Shellback, what would you give it 1 through 10?
I think Jens is is a good guesstimation. So yeah, in that neighborhood, anywhere from 8 to 10 for any and all of them. You know.
I would say definitely if you're including all of them, I would say, the last few did bring the franchise down a bit. So, I mean, if you're talking as a whole, I would say 8. Now, if you're talking about just this first movie, I would say the first movie is a 10.
Yeah.
I mean, is it perfect? It's not perfect, but it's close enough to me to warrant a 10. Yeah. Gap Stargate says 8. Is that for the franchise or just a single movie? 8.5. Nowhere is there a Kmart. I don't even know if there are any more Kmarts. The ones we had are all closed down.
Yeah.
Like
Cincinnati, Ohio.
The first Police Academy is one of them films where, even though you've seen it, and there's jokes that are coming up, but when you see them, they just make you laugh. It's like one of them things where you just see stuff that like you can't just help but laugh, even though you know.
Well, that's a purest example of escapism right there. That's quality entertainment when it's escapism, when you know what's going to happen and you still get enjoyment out of it. And it's the same reason why people went back to the theaters over and over again to watch all those movies from all those years ago, like Star Wars and everything else. Because we knew what was coming, but we still enjoyed it because it was done right. And that's the same thing with Police Academy early on. It was done so well that you didn't care that you were rewatching. Those jokes are coming up. They're still funny because of how well that they were actually performed. And what's going on, Subhuman 84? What's up, buddy? Candace.
Plus, too, like if you were.
Is this another one of these guys? Is that another one of those guys?
Yeah.
Get him out of here. Show him the exit door. So long, sucker. Now it was Walmart, right? I like to call it where the trailer park people live. That's what Walmart is to me.
What? Hey. I used to live in a trailer park.
No, I thought you were going to say you used to live in Walmart.
Well, sometimes I do. I mean, it's like one of the few places I can afford to shop. But one thing that pops up to me is the theme. It's like one of those themes where, like, when you hear it, you're like, "Oh, hey!" Because dun 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 dun.
Eric K is in the chat but not showing up. What?
I like the end song where I forget who did it, but it was called something like "I Want to Be Somebody," and it was like one of them sort of songs that I don't know who written that, but there was pretty good musicians and that because
I'm trying to remember it. I don't remember it.
It would, I want to be somebody. I want to be someone.
I'm trying to see if I can find Eric K now.
Well,
Saying he's in the chat, but it's not showing up. We're gonna fix that right now.
it was at a time though where like they would invest in having a good sort of music to with the film. You know where like they wouldn't just
where they cared enough to actually create a soundtrack for the movie. No, we lost the show.
Yeah.
Eric, if you're still hanging out there and there's something going on with your, and thank you for telling me about that, Sherry. I appreciate that. You shouldn't have that problem anymore. If anybody has a problem in my chat where whatever reason they're not showing up, just say something, let me know, at me, and I will fix that because I will make you a mod on the channel because I don't care. I do not like the idea of YouTube censoring people in my chat. YouTube, you could miss me with that bullshit. You could suck fuzzy guinea nuts because we're not going to put up with it.
Do we? What is the Google moderator about? Is that what we're thinking?
I'm thinking so because all of a sudden a few of these bot idiots showed up, and thank you Wookie and who else took care of them. I seen Wookie got in there and Bone as well. Thank you for taking care of it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Also.
Those idiots.
Also, check and make sure that you're on live chat and not the top chat. I've made that mistake before too. So.
Oh no, I understand that, but I know that there's like if I'm not seeing it in StreamYards because I seen his chats early on, and all of a sudden I wasn't seeing it anymore.
But I'm talking about for everybody in general, because like I know, which I don't know, I don't understand that. Why they even have that option. It's like, to me, it should be, everybody,
Yeah, if it's live, you should see the live chat regardless.
Yeah,
I see that option being like good for if you're watching a replay.
Right.
And you just kind of want to see top chat. I can kind of get at that, but not for a live stream. It makes no sense.
Right.
Chris, real quick. Oh man, so many dead and gone stores for my youth. Woolworth service merchandise. Lechmere, Circuit City, Montgomery Wards. Yeah, Circuit City. Yeah, I remember Circuit City. I also remember, oh God, what was the one with the Wiz? Our prices will drive you insane.
I thought it was
Woolworths. Yeah, Woolworths. Actually, I still hold a fond place in my heart for Woolworths because when I was a kid, that was the store that I got my very first official Transformer in.
Okay,
my mother's would take me into a Woolworths and got it.
Well, okay, so while we're at it, can we have a moment of silence for Radio Shack, please?
No, God, the good old Radio Shack. Yeah, you know what? I used to love going to Radio Shack because you'd be able to do some really cool things. Like, back in the day, like CB radios and everything were still a thing that, like some of us younger kids got into because we watched the movies where they were getting on the radio and doing other stuff with CBs and stuff. So,
but
on your tail.
And I don't know about you, but we always had the joke of whatever you were looking for at Radio Shack, it was by the batteries. It didn't matter what it was by the batteries.
Everything was by the batteries in that store.
Yeah.
One of the other things I remembered about Radio Shack back in the day is they would get like some of the oddball toys too. Like when Transformers did the 1985 line and they brought in there was another company they work and they created the Shockwave figure and brought it in. It was actually a figure called the Astro Magnum, I believe it was called.
Oh,
and it was licensed out. It was licensed out to a few different companies, and it went to Radio Shack, and they called him like he was called Tandy Man by fans, but he was called Galactic Man in the store.
Yeah,
but yeah, like you'd see stuff like that in Radio Shack, you would see these toys from the companies who originally licensed them out to the bigger companies before they became named.
Oh, is this it? Sorry, what?
What you got, Jens?
Yeah, Astro.
Yeah, Lasso. What I did is I actually modded him so they would stop hiding his chat. Yes, Astro Magnum. That's what it originally was, and it was licensed off to Hasbro. Because the funny thing, they didn't license it off in Japan because the company is from Japan originally with the Astro Magnum. So they were allowed to license it off in the States as Shockwave, and they were also allowed to license it off to Radio Shack as Galactic Man.
I'm sorry, but Astro Magnum sounds like a battery-operated buddy for the ladies.
Yeah,
well, I was lights and sounds. And...
This one.
I hear you,
That's
Lasso.
what I
No,
was
it's
thinking.
stupid.
Go to Adam and Eve for your Astro buddy.
Hey, so it come in purple then. Oh,
No, that's a later version, obviously, but
right.
yeah, that original toy, like most people don't even know. Like I've gotten in discussions where they thought, oh, well, Hasbro created that. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They licensed it off. I forget the name of the toy company. I want to say it was like a Toyco or Toy Box or something like that. It was the same thing with the oh god, what was the other figure? Omega Supreme. Omega Supreme was another one that was licensed off from another toy company, along with what was called Radio Shack. God damn it, the Deluxe Autobots.
I would say it's saying Toyco, Japan.
Okay, yeah, Toyco Japan. Yep, Toyco. Toy Box might have been the one that did Omega Supreme.
Well, check that one out. Mega Supreme.
You got questions? We got answers. I used to love going to Radio Shack all the time, especially when they used to do the points. Like you get free batteries.
It was Radio Shack was generally a good place to go for RC cars.
Bradley's, yeah. Caldors. God, what was that other one? I remember another one called Clovers. Hills is where the toys are. They used to open up all the toys and make a battle scene in an aquarium displayed on the end caps of their huge toy section. That's awesome. I used to love when they used to have the toy stores, that legitimate toy stores, like early days with Toys R Us, Kitty City, even early KB toy stores before they wound up, popping up in every mall as like little sublet stores. And they used to have those little display sets for the toys. I mean, you get excited to see that stuff. That's how they drew kids in. Yeah, Tandy computers. I remember the Tandy computers. I had one of them early on. Unfortunately, got stolen. Toys R Us is starting to make a small comeback, Gap. I know they opened up 2 stores back in the States. And one of them is up in New York. I forget where the other one is. Yeah, Radio Shacks are small. I mean, you know what, though? They were almost... Radio Shacks almost felt like a mom and pop business, though. Like, because they were a little bit smaller. You almost always knew the guy that worked there if you were going there enough. So you got that, like, more of a personal service than you would in the big stores. Now, I think that was one of the draws to places like Radio Shack. I mean, obviously the free batteries really weren't pulling nobody in, but because those batteries would die in like a month.
Yeah, batteries cost loads back then. I remember when sometimes it nearly cost as much as the toy. Oh,
Dex toy, yeah. I just picked up a few newer Transformers, and I'll be talking about one of them on on the stream with Vinny on Thursday. I got a couple of good ones. I got Electron, who is he's the Ecto 1 Transformer, and I also got, oh God, what the hell's his name now? It's the Back to the Future car.
DeLorean.
DeLorean?
Yeah, the DeLorean, but it's God, what the hell's his name?
Doc Brown?
No, what's the device that's in the middle of the damn car?
The flux capacitor?
I think he's called Flux or something like that. I forget exactly. I haven't even opened the box up for the toy yet. I'm waiting to film it because I got to get it ready for Thursday. But I'm going to have those for Vinny's show because that's where I talk about all the retro toys, or toys that are retro. I had the all gray Astra Magnum. My mom worked for a cheap import shop called Pips that got all the knockoffs and odd Japanese imports. Here's the thing though, Chris, and I talked about this one before too. When I used to go to the Route 1 indoor flea market up in New Brunswick, it's the same one that Kevin Smith had put in Mallrats. Even though all he really filmed was the outside of the store, the inside of the store obviously wasn't what he filmed. But they used to get the actual guys from Japan that would bring their toys over. And that's where I was first introduced to like micro change and the early micro change vehicles that were part of the Micro Man line, or what was in the States known as Micronauts when it was through Mega. But yeah, they had a lot of those guys that were just directly bringing them over from Japan. And then they started putting all kinds of restrictions on what kind of toys they could bring in from other countries. And it just became a mess. Sex toy transformer is a brilliant idea. Parrothead showed me one where it was a crucifix that it was like a homemade version. Like somebody made a Jesus on a cross that turned into a robot. Like, holy shit, really? That's kind of hilarious. Yeah, KB Toy Stores is definitely another one, Subhuman. I love KB Toy Store, and that's why it was included in my intro for this live stream. I love going into KB Toy Stores because you would find all the toys that the big stores were trying to move out of stock. They wanted to make way for the new stuff, so they would basically sell them off to KB at a discount. I mean, of course, they didn't get all their stock that way. They got a lot of it from the actual companies at a discount again because it's stock that had to be moved out. But KB was great for that stuff. I want to be a Toys R Us kid. I'm still a Toys R Us kid.
Oh, here we go. Jesus Transformer toy. Christians roll out. Oh my word!
Kitty City. I've never found Titty City. I'm still on the look for it, Parrothead. So if you find it, let me know. I'm sure you'll DM me. We had a competing Toys R Us and Child World across.
On the other side of town.
World. I'd never seen a Child World because that was more of a West Coast thing.
If there's any like Christians in the fucking audience, or like offensive,
Titty City is across the street from Deja Vu.
Hey, I tell you something though, it'd have been an all different story if Jesus had the ability to transform into a fucking Transformer on his crucifixion day. Hey, though, I'm laughing, but look at this.
Yes, Subhuman. Yeah, Subhuman Gigawatt. Thank you. I don't know why I was blanking on his name. Thank you so much.
What the hell?
Fries. I heard about them too.
Yeah, I'll tell you something though. I don't know why they haven't done the film for this to get the toys fucking out. Because right, if they do it sort of like Jesus meets Iron Man, sort of where at the end, instead of getting crucified, he just blows the shit out of people and escapes from the
Iron Jesus.
Yeah.
Or no, Iron Christ. Iron Christ.
Yeah, the resurrection. Yeah, coming out of the cave. Yeah.
I am Iron Christ.
Yeah. Well, I'll go see it because I reckon the action's going to be good. It has to be.
We're all going to hell now for singing that.
I'm pretty sure that we were already on our way there. My problem is, though, is heaven doesn't want me and hell's afraid I'm going to take over. So I think I'm safe. DBS, in case you didn't hear me, welcome, buddy. It's good to see you. Thank you for showing up. Love DBS. I'm pretty sure he's is tonight you're doing your Star Wars and Hose show, DBS? I'm pretty sure it's tonight.
Yeah.
Souls said I had a Titanic transformer that I got from a school book fair, probably a knockoff. Yeah, it might have been. You know what? Some of those knockoffs though were actually a lot of fun. I remember picking a lot of them up. I mean, I talked about the Kellogg Starbots. They were super cheap, freaking in the damn cereal box toys, but I thought that they were cool. I mean, there was actually a lot of toys that people didn't know about that popped out in a lot of stores. And one of them I was talking with my brother earlier about is there was a GoBots that did a cross promotional with Wendy's, and they made a series of like 4 or 5 little GoBots that were only available at Wendy's. And they even had a packaging for them, like a blister card and everything with the GoBots on it and the Wendy's logo on it and a little story of who they were on the back. Like really cool stuff that they were doing around that time. Like, I mean, you don't see that kind of quality anymore.
Well, say, look at this one though. These might be going to hell. We won't be going to hell because we was big in Craig Stupper, that man, saying he's like a Tony Stark character. But
well,
I was ever doing this one. The put little nails in so you can basically just crucify Jesus. Yeah.
Well,
that
when the way you can tell is like. If you're you're either on a highway or a stairway, okay. Yeah.
Well, here's the one thing I will say about that stuff, and it always cracks me up when these people get offended about stuff like this. If you read the Bible at all, it actually says you're not supposed to take any graven images or anything like that and put them up high. So technically, when these people are taking the cross and using it as a symbol of Jesus and all that stuff, they're actually breaking their own rules.
Yeah, but to be fair to this one, that comes with its own little.
That meant other images.
Boxing. It is sort of like tastefully done compared to that other one. So yeah, but that other one was like bit crazy. You're gonna give your kid that?
And I can't go to confessional because, the box would catch on fire.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're on to something here. I think Lasso may have given inspiration to the guy who made the cross transformer, a confessional transformer.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to reach out to this guy and make that happen. Son of a red shirt, what's going on, buddy?
Well, it's also going to have to do with Satan transformer because there's no good having the good guys if you haven't got the bad guys.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So what? Well, we were talking about another good transformer would be the Fauci transformer. He turns into a big giant vax needle. Chris, the Jesus transformer is a triple change toy. He changed from the Father to the Son to the Holy Ghost. Holy shit!
Yeah. Now the Fauci transformer would. His catchphrase, he'd have 2 catchphrases, or his catchphrase would be, "You're wrong! It's your boosters!
You're wrong, Rand Paul! You're wrong! I'm the ultimate transformer! I'll transform you into an idiot with my vax!
I am the Transformers!"
TLM 29, what's going on, TLM?
Yeah, you'd have to have a Soros transformer and all. So when Fauci turns into the needle, Soros can grab it and start injecting.
Yeah.
Fuck, that will.
This stream is sacrilegious. Hit the like button to repent.
I was saying it was like Speaking of Jesus, the other one though was, and
Hey,
then we was sort of oh, what's it called when you say it's like not good? Well, we weren't agreeing with the second Jesus crucifying. But the
what,
first one,
sacrilegious?
yeah, it came with its own fucking crucifying nails that you could.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, rather that, or it was some kind of wall hanging, sort of like.
Well,
But
I mean, here's the thing. Jesus was a carpenter, so eventually he was going to catch a nail.
yeah, but not right through the hand on both hands, whilst to a cross. But I think it was bootlegs anyway. It was bootlegs. What they basically done was got like some kind of wrestling action figure. Because I noticed Jesus looked a bit buff, considering like he was getting starved and that. Because like usually Jesus looks a bit gaunt on the cross, doesn't he? He always looked like he could use a good meal. But
I never really understood that image though, or people got kind of like got it wrong, because because if you put a nail or a spike through the palm of your hand and try to lift you up with it, it's just gonna rip right out of your hand. The thing is, it's more like in the wrist, because it catches in between that freaking bone.
True. There was some lazy sort of people back then who just thought, well, all right, well, I just stick it in the hand.
Yeah.
It's
either that or they they tie you up or whatever. But
yeah. Well, there's no pictures, is there?
Yeah.
Like so we can't. We can only speculate.
Yeah. Well, did you ever watch Spartacus? Any of the Spartacus TV shows?
I saw a little clip of
it. They were pretty accurate, or a little bit more accurate, in as far as the whole crucifixion process goes.
Yeah. Well, when you're doing a crucifixion, you've got to make sure, you hit the nail in the right place, or as you say, it's going to look pretty stupid when you're pulling that cross up and the body just flopping down. You're like, oh shit! Get the rope.
No,
I don't look professional.
Soul Assassin brought up the joke from The Crow. I love that one too. Yeah, Jesus went to a hotel and handed the clerk 2 nails and said, "Can you put me up for the night?" Possibly. I won't worry about it. And TLM29 says, Tommy the Guinea Pig Collective just finished my top 5 list of 2021, which will go up next year. Awesome. Be sure to post your link to your channel. You can do that.
My top 5 list.
Yeah, right through the bone. That's how they kept them up. The rope was there just to make them extra uncomfortable.
Yeah, the rope was probably there just in case some amateur fucking missed the bone. It's like, oh no, we're not fucking pinning him up again.
If I made a top 5 list for 2021, it would just be like 5 pictures of turds.
No, everybody should make a top 5 and put like the best memes of the best morons that we've attacked over the past year. I think I gave Wookiee a head start with one I did the other day with some nitwit that we were having it out with on Twitter.
Yeah, I'd go a bit crazy and start like sagging off some more soy nerds that I just fucking rant on about. But so I calm that down. I went too far on slagging off sort of people I didn't like. Not personal.
Yeah, I hear you, son of Red Shirt. I've been feeling a little bit off myself lately. I think that's probably just the past couple of weeks. It's been a lot going on. And it's just It's a whole lot for a little guinea pig body to take.
Well, if you would have gotten your boosters.
Yeah, but you're wrong, Shellback. You're wrong. Everybody's got the spike proteins in the water right now. and the Fauci transformer would be called Boosted.
Yeah.
What's going on? Decepticon, Caves of Toys and Villains. What's up, man? What's going on? No, we're being anything but good. Well, we're doing good, but we're not being good. But I wanted to talk about one last topic. I was actually supposed to bring it up 2 weeks ago. And obviously with everything that happened with our buddy JJ and everything, I couldn't do it. So the other one I wanted to bring up was an old cartoon that I loved when I was a kid. It almost felt like a bit of, some people will say a ripoff, but I always felt like it kind of like incorporated a lot of elements of a lot of different shows and comics and everything into one. And that's going to be the clip that I'm going to play right now. And we'll see how many remember this one.
1994, from outer space comes a runaway planet hurtling between the Earth and the Moon, unleashing cosmic destruction. Man's civilization is cast in ruins. "2,000 years later, the Earth is reborn. A strange new world rises from the old. A world of savagery, super science, and sorcery. But one man bursts his bonds to fight for justice. With his companions Ukla the Mop and Princess Ariel, he pits his strength, his courage, and his fabulous sun sword against the forces of evil. He is Thundar the Barbarian. And while initially we didn't get any toys for Thundar the Barbarian, in 2003, Toynami created these. The Thundar the Barbarian line. They've actually done quite a few of the other older franchises as well, and I think these look very good. They look very much like the cartoon. So of course you have Thundar the Barbarian with his fabulous sun sword. And you wouldn't have Thundar without his companion, Ukla the Mop, and his bow. And of course, there was also Princess Ariel with a few of her magical creations to put on the figure.
So that was another franchise that I loved when I was growing up. I enjoyed the holy hell out of Thundar, and I was actually surprised to see that much later on, of course, that they created toys for it. I think that's one of the things that a lot of these toy companies are finally starting to figure out. Like if they dig back into the well of these franchises from the past, that they actually create toys to sell right now that will do very well, because that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for things that remind them of the past. They want to be reminded of those older shows that they love so much. I was seeing some Thundar love in the chat.
I freaking watched Thundar all the time, man. Whenever it was on, like, because it was it was Thundar, and then they had the Herculoids, and then like Space Ghost and all that.
I remember when they did the Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I never really watched that. But yeah. Although that was just kind of like a dare I say parody type of thing. But
yeah, it definitely was. What's going on, Brian? Welcome, and I seen our good buddy Steven was also in the chat. What's going on, Walton? Good to see you. Yeah, love me some Thundar. Love that show. One of the early things I was doing in my channel when I was doing the lightsaber theory videos is I actually posed that question: was the sun sword a lightsaber? What's going on, Nelson, the gentleman? I felt that it was very similar to a lightsaber, and I thought the same way about the Transformers. In the 1986 movie where Megatron brings out that sword, It's an energy sword. Wouldn't that be considered a lightsaber to a degree? Because that's what a lightsaber is. It's an energy sword. I mean, one thing we got to remember: it's not plasma. It's not plasma.
Yeah, but George Lucas gets a bit touchy with that, doesn't he? So it's like champagne sort of thing, where sparkling wine is champagne, but you can only call it champagne if it's made in Champagne in France.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soul Assassin.
Otherwise, it's sparkling white wine.
Yeah.
Soul Assassin, I remember when Cartoon Network used to show Thundar, Pirates of Blackwater, and Herculoids. Good times.
Yeah, well, I'd never seen this Thundar because it was one of them shows that never made it to the UK, I don't think. Like,
I think you would have liked that one, Jens.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to check it out because someone said it was the original He-Man. Who was that?
Well, the He-Man, the toys were created in 1981, but the toys weren't released until 82, and I think the cartoon wasn't released until 83.
Yeah.
So Thundar came out in 84, so it was probably in development in 83. Tahilum 29, fake super chat of a bag of lettuce and bag of carrots. For those guinea pigs, Thundar looks very similar to He-Man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were going with the barbarian look at that time. It just seemed to be like the new thing, especially with the reemergence of Conan the Barbarian. A lot of people are latching on to that. So they wanted to create their own, like, I guess, safer version, if you will, of Conan. Energy laser swords were a thing in sci-fi long before Star Wars. Yes, absolutely right. You are correct.
Glinster. Yeah, he said the original He-Man. So, yeah, I'll have to check it out. Because it did look quite good there. Because, like, the beginning was like, yeah, fucking... catastrophe happening. You're like, yeah, that gets the interest. Like, yeah, bit like the new Barbarians, where at the beginning of that it's a world catastrophe ending situation where then it goes into the future.
Yeah, the figure's going for a bit. I mean, I imagined that figure was pretty reasonable when it first came out, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, I didn't even know they did that.
I had no clue either, because there's a lot of those like third-party companies that I don't always pay attention to, and I wish I did, because they've made some amazing figures out there. Like matter of fact, Vinny was showing me the one that he got, like a third-party Optimus Prime looking figure, and holy shit, that thing looks amazing. Like, it rivals anything Hasbro's done and kind of surpasses it in most aspects. So Pirates of Darkwater broke my heart. It was such a high-budget series that it ran out of money before Ren could collect all 13 treasures of Rule. Yeah, it's a good show if you can get. I mean, I got to look for it and try to get it myself. I've been trying to reacquire a lot of these older cartoons. I mean, I did manage to pick up a copy of the Max. So I got like the entire series of the Max from MTV. That was another one I loved back in the day. I'm going to have to do something on this show about the Max too. Thundar was mostly written by Steve Gerber, and he said that working with the censors was insane. I'd imagine so. Conan the Librarian, the Dewey Decimal System. Brian, and even though they had that thing with a comet knocking the Earth off its axis, as a kid, you knew it was post-nuke. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mad Max. Oh, it's just great films when it has post-nuke.
Conan should get an R-rated animated series like Spawn. I agree. Wait till NECA gets the license. Yeah, NECA does amazing figures. Well, most of the time. Every once in a while, NECA kind of misses the mark. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while they do. But yeah, usually they put out some really good stuff. And so does Diamond Selects. When they're on top of their game, Diamond Selects makes some amazing figures. So, I mean, did you watch this one a lot, Shellback?
Thundar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. All the time. Them and the Herculoids.
Now, if they were to ever like try to revitalize this franchise, what would you want to see them do? Would you like to see them do like an anime version on, say, like, and you know, I'm saying this with respect to what they let happen with the Transformers series, like maybe like Netflix or something,
Yeah, I'd like to see a live version Netflix.
a live version.
Yeah, why
The,
not?
the live versions always worry me, though.
I won't mind as long as it's some crazy ass dude going around kicking ass with a
Yeah.
lightsaber-ish sword. Go for it.
Oh, I mean, as long as they don't give it the Kevin Smith He-Man treatment, and
Oh yeah, yeah, you're
and,
right.
and and sideline Thundar with the freaking gal,
Yeah, well, yeah, they'll probably make it about that wizard bird who then miraculously would look like she's took roids and she'd have a lightsaber sword that she went around kicking ass with, whilst Thundar probably stayed at home knitting.
Oh, and Lasso of Truth, thank you. Right up there with the rest of the guys that have been catching those idiots. They've actually been around for a little while. They've kind of gone unnoticed because they've been doing it in a lot of smaller channels. They've been going into chats, putting that stupid Vaztech, and I like to call them Vagtech people. You guys are irritating and you're annoying, and we won't pay any attention to you. We will just boot you from the channel and report your silly asses. So take that. We got people watching the chat. In case you didn't notice, my chat is filled with wrenches. Suckers.
My favorite one is that I can't even think now. It's something HD. I don't basically like kind of like a OnlyFans type of bot, that advertising scantily clad ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to see a live. I want to see a film actually. I want to see some rogue filmmaker that and there's places where it does look like there's been a post nuke happening. Just film it there. Get some dude who's pretty good with a sword, because it's going to be a sword based fighting, so like what they're going to do with Highlander and that, and get some nice looking lass who can cast some spells and that and run around, and someone in a werewolf, so go around beating the shit out of people.
Well, here's one of the things I want to say about the Thundar series, and I know a lot of people always go right to the Conan the Barbarian tie-in because that's what Thundar looked like. He looked like a barbarian. But I think there was a lot of tie-ins to a lot of other franchises. Like you see the tie-ins to Star Wars, not only with the Sun Sword looking similar to a lightsaber in some aspects, but also Ukla the Mach. It kind of almost has that big furry, like a big Wookiee appearance in a way. And then you've Princess Ariel, who's kind of like the magician, the sorceress, which you did see in Conan, but I always felt like that was a bit of a play on Princess Leia in a way.
Yeah. Well, it did seem like thinking right. Barbarian films with space and action. Yeah. I'm thinking it's good. I'm gonna have to watch them all, mate. Because how many seasons did it run for?
Oh God, I forget offhand. I don't remember if it was one season or two seasons. It was actually kind of short-lived, unfortunately. Yeah. And I thought it was enjoyable for what it was. extremely well done show, and it didn't get a whole lot of push. It wasn't, say, like a lot of the other franchises, like when you've seen, GoBots initially, or Transformers, G.I. Joe, Thundercats. You go on and on with these toy lines that were created off the shows, or the shows were created for the toy lines. They had that push back and forth because of it. And a lot of the same ones that did the toy line with the cartoon, they also did a comic, and that helped promote it as well. They're all the ones that had some kind of longevity at first. This one didn't really have any of that. It had the cartoon on its own as a standalone, and unfortunately, that wasn't enough to keep it alive for very long, which is a shame. It just really is a shame.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch. But back to Telegram, though, with his Henry Cavill might do Highlander. No, he is doing Highlander. And
21 episodes.
All right, yeah.
Thank you, Gapstar. I know somebody else had mentioned it earlier, and I just forgot how many was in it.
Well, Henry Cavill is going to be playing Highlander.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah. Play Superman.
I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with the Witcher series. And once again, I've talked about this too. I've never played the game. I've never read the books. I knew nothing about it. So when I watched the series, I was actually watching it from fresh eyes. And Jason Lee, what's going on, Jason Lee? Good to see you, buddy. I still found it enjoyable for what it was. I mean, even if there was mistakes, I don't have enough knowledge on the series to be able to point them out. So I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't mind it. I mean, I thought some of it was a little slow paced. I thought the Pulp Fiction kind of aspect of it was slightly confusing for somebody who didn't know the story that well. But I mean, overall, I didn't think it was bad. I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with it next. So,
oh well, they're going for the female direction.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah, well, that's why Henry Cavill doing Highlander, because he showed good ability with the sword in The Witcher, because he probably took some sword training lessons and all that, actors trained in that.
There's another one, DBS. I never got into the Cowboy Bebop series, and I'm sure Shellback has watched it, but I had no interest in it because I never heard one good thing about it, and I had no interest in watching it. None whatsoever. And the fact that it got canceled that quick must mean that Netflix is starting to pay attention to people and what they're saying. Hopefully they do the same thing with Kevin Smith's He-Man, the master. Oh, I'm sorry, She Masters of the Universe.
The anime, the Cowboy Bebop anime was good. I didn't like the ending. But the anime was good. But you could tell that the live action Cowboy Bebop was going to be a train wreck when they just blatantly virtue signal by doing things like making the character jet black, by making him making him black.
Yeah, but he was black in the cartoons. In the anime, he was black. It's just that for a Japanese audience, they didn't color him as dark as they would have. But what was worse was the kid.
He was not a black guy in the anime.
He was a black dude in the anime.
He was voiced by a black guy. I was talking to Vinny about that. Vinny actually knows the voice actor.
I know, but the character wasn't.
The character was. It's just that he wasn't coloured, real dark skinned, but for a Japanese audience, he was coloured dark enough to make him a black dude.
He didn't have any of the features or anything. Anyway. Whatever.
Oh, they did. It's like there's like. I
mean, you look at Jet Black. Okay, you look at the anime character Jet Black. You look at him and then look at Afro Samurai. Okay, Afro Samurai looked like a black dude. Okay, Jet Black did not look like a black dude. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm seeing another video. Chris Fisk in the anime. Jet was not black at all. He had a black voice actor in the West, but he wasn't black. He was even on screen with black characters. Jet was Japanese.
He was a black Japanese then.
Netflix pays attention to the money. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're actually paying attention because they know they're losing money on this because the fans are sick of it. So, of course, you know, if you have a company that has any kind of common sense whatsoever, they're going to pay attention to the fans to a degree because these are the people that are going to make you money. If they're not watching your shows, you are losing money. It's as simple as that. And I don't understand why more of these companies don't get it. And another thing Chris said, he preferred the 20-year-old Polish Witcher series that was free on YouTube. The Netflix version was poorly paced and became feminist Harry Potter in Wakanda. Anybody know if Highlander with Henry Cavill is going to be a reboot or a continuation? I'm not sure if anybody knows that for certain.
All I know is they're getting closer with Henry Cavill, you know, because I mean the first guy, you know, the first guy was French, you know, playing a Scottish dude. So now that they have an Englishman playing a Scottish dude, they're a little closer to home.
I saw the anime Cowboy Bebop is a classic, and no, Jet was not black. I think you're losing on this one, Jens.
Well, if he wasn't black, it was because the drawing black enough, but his character, because it was like a black dude. Maybe he's because like in the pictures, like you can see he's not exactly 100% black, but he would have had some black heritage.
Jens, I'm going to
only from the waist down.
The people in the chat are demanding it.
Are you high?
This is not my fault. What's going on, Tim Possible? See, I don't know enough about the show to say one way or the other, so I can't say. But I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat are saying absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that and you know, Faye Valentine wasn't Latina either, so you know. But anyway.
Yeah, but look at this though, right?
Look at this right here, Jens. This says it all. Jet didn't vote for Biden. He's not black.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's not American though, is he? I'll grant you that. Because he's supposed to be like Japanese or whatever. So he can't vote for Biden if he wanted to. But look at this, right? Because here's where, like, you know, where person of color, like, you could call them black as long as they're a shade of a white. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Share this. Look. You see his skin color compared to theirs? Look, that's sort of like what you'd call white. That's real white. That's what
I'm sorry. If you look at the facial features, you could definitely tell he's Japanese.
No, he hasn't got.
I don't know the series. I'm looking at this completely from the perspective of looking at the facial features.
Listen to me. Who's watched all the series of the anime, right? His skin color is not white, and it's definitely not like Asian. It's like that. It's very, very sort of like supposed to be slightly black, but he'd be still considered a POC.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
He's darker than fucking Talco X, and he's considered black.
Oh, Death by Saber, what's going on again? Hey, Tommy, I binge watched Cowboy Bebop last night so I can go live with Ben of Fan Addicts, a film tomorrow. Awesome. Awesome. Always good to see Ben doing stuff again. I did catch him, I want to say it was a few weeks back. I managed to catch him on a live stream. I don't get to see him as much as I normally would. I don't even want to watch Netflix Stupid Live. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. There's a lot of stuff I just gave up with them.
And if you've noticed, with his scarring, black people or darker skinned people, their scars go a brown or dark, where with white people, it goes like a pinky sort of red color.
Well, Japanese people are kind of like, Japanese people are kind of like white people in the fact that, you get different shades, like some people, a little bit darker than others. But
it's very rare to see a dark-skinned Asian as dark as this. So that's why he's got some black in him.
Have you ever seen what? Have you ever seen a freaking somebody from Thailand or the Philippines? They're pretty dark.
Yeah, that's when they get suntans, isn't it? But they're in space. They're in space.
Chris says there's a scene in the episode when Jet meets Radical Ed and interviews people, including a black kid.
Yeah, because he's got some black in him. He's getting down with the brothers, isn't he? Anyway, that ain't the worst.
Take your man.
That's not the worst thing about Cowboy Bebop.
What'd you say about my mama?
Move out of that seat and I'll split your lip.
When you watch the series, he's chilled out to fuck like a black dude. That's why he is practically a black dude. Where I think for the Japanese audience, they thought, well, if we put him too dark skinned, we're going to lose viewers.
Wait, you got to be black to be chilled out? What? Have you not seen The Big Lebowski?
Yeah, but he's very chilled out. Because in most of when you watch the anime, he like don't even want to do any of this shit. He's like, oh man, gotta do this shit. What's with this shit? He's always complaining because he's got to do shit. He's like, I just want to. So anyway, people who say like, that the it's like that is not the worst of it. That is not the worst of it. In fact, it's they did it so good because the kid in it, like when you see him in the cartoon, you don't even know if it's a boy or a girl. I don't even know until like I still don't even know really. But anyway,
well, that was the
kid's
point.
so crazy that you can get away with it in anime, but when you put that on live action, there was a lot of people that like got turned away because it was pretty freaky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ed was in fact a girl, but Ed didn't dress like a girl, and Ed called herself Ed.
It was. I watched it and like I still wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of that probably has to do with that too. That they had the voice actor in the American version do it, because the original version, obviously, it was a Japanese voice actor. From what I've seen, because Parrot had sent me his wiki. Well, I mean, kind of hard to trust wiki though. Complain all the time. Oh no, are we really going there? I mean, obviously, whatever Netflix did, it was poorly done. It was ill received. Nobody cared about it, and it's disappearing already. It's gone. It's out of here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's when they try and do something that they think is good, and just because you make an half decent copy of it, but it's going to do good. That's what basically they're doing. They're like, all right, there's so much shit. As long as it's better than Batwoman, we don't really have to fucking do much. And it's better than Batwoman, isn't it? I ain't even seen any of Cowboy Bebop, but just on default, it's going to be better than Batwoman. So they thought, right, that's how the bar's set now. Batwoman, we just got to beat that, and we should get ourselves 2 or 3 seasons.
I don't know. I think everybody is not giving Brie Larson enough credit for what she's probably got coming up for Captain Marvel too. I'm sure we could slide that bar down a little bit further.
No, Tommy, stop praising her like that, because it ain't Captain Marvel 2. It's it's going to be the Marvels, because she can't hold it. Yeah. If they call that Captain Marvel 2, they'll have to call it Captain Marvel 2 with some friends that you like, because we all know you hate Brie Larson. Wonder Woman fucking 5. That's what I want to see. She probably might start with a crossover with Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to watch any of it. Probably the only thing I'm actually looking forward to watching is going to be Cobra Kai, which is coming soon. I'm hoping they did the same thing that they did with a few of the other series, where they just let the people who are directing, writing, and producing it just deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, let them deal with what they know how to deal with. And that's how you're going to get a show that's going to pay respect to the originals, because they did a really good job paying respect to the original Karate Kid movies. Yeah. And they pretty much ignored that Jaden Smith one, which I like that. I refuse to watch that thing.
Oh, you mean the Kung Fu Kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though, Castle? You got to care about her because she's a Bigfoot. They are an endangered species, so we have to care just a little bit.
Is that like a personal attack?
Her feet are a personal attack.
If you don't like
an angry housewife. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you don't like it, keep your opinions to yourself. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, that one still cracks me up. If you like this video, comment below. If you didn't like this video, keep your comments to yourself.
Yeah,
I cannot.
And the way she looks in the camera as to give it that look, as to say, and I've told you to keep it to yourself. So fucking listen to me when I tell you, keep it to yourself.
The only thing that gal did worthwhile was take 5 knuckles to the face by Thanos.
Yeah, I thought you would say, "Oh, we should bent over and picked up some chewing gum you dropped." Yeah, I don't know. She was like in one of the comedies where she was doing backflips. That like she had a little bit part in. I forget which it was. I think it was that Scott Pilgrim one.
I hated that one too. I hated it.
Huh?
I heard everybody. I heard everybody talking about, her acting was so much better in it. You know, she wasn't like all stiff and everything like from the scenes you see in Captain Marvel. So I went and I watched it, and you know what? She was just as big of a plank of wood in that one as the little trailer stuff that I seen for Captain Marvel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but then she had a happy face on her. It was probably
for like 2 seconds. Like 2 seconds, and then it looked like it was straining, like it was going to crack her face. Like, hey, this is a personal attack.
She was
Just
only
like
in
just
the
like
department.
her in freaking Skull Island. That movie would have been so much better if she was never in it, or at least got squished the minute
I
she
think
showed
looking
up in
back,
front of
I think
Kong.
you're looking back on it though, Tommy, aren't you? Because at the time, before she did Captain Marvel, everyone didn't mind Brie. It was just once she released Captain Marvel, that's when it all fucking went tits wrong. Because she fucked up the MCU for a start. She slagged off everyone who didn't like her. She made Samuel Jackson look like a right pussy bitch. Oh, it was like, jeez. But show business.
Freaking Nick Fury gets his eye taken out by a fucking cat.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I didn't watch it, but I didn't mind it. It was the action scenes where, because one of my mates, he's not my mate no more. Let's just say he probably went through him trying to make me watch the fucking Captain Marvel film. It was other reasons, but I don't hang around with him no more. I say hello to him, but we're not mates, as in like fucking drinking buddies or whatever. Well, he put on like the first bit, right? And I knew it was going to be shit. And that. So I was like, no, it's going to be shit. I've told you. Well, it was one of them where he had no fucking sense of what a good film was, or good music for that matter. But for films, he was watching fucking Batwoman. Let's just say he was watching Batwoman for a season or two. Well, he puts it on and that, and then you see the fight scene with her and what's his name, Jude Law, and it's basically the end of the film because it was like corny as fuck because it was like basic, like, oh yeah, you finish a fight with one punch. Where One Punch Man comes from that sort of genre of, oh yeah, one punch finishes a fight. But yeah, well, anyway, I said to him, oh, because I was laughing at it and saying, oh yeah, that is shit because it happens in the first 5 minutes. And it was with another mate. And that because he was trying to convince him to watch it. Well, I went, oh well, I'm fucking off home. I said I'll come back in fucking an hour and a half or two. Fucking well, anyway, I went back about like 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later, because I thought, oh yeah, I better make sure. And the mate said, oh no, we turned it off after 10 minutes because that shit. I was like, yeah. Tell that story, but some people, they've got no else better to do than watch fucking shit like Captain Marvel. Like, I said to him, oh yeah, fucking, it's shit. And he said, oh, well, I didn't mind it. But I was thinking, yeah, but you didn't mind Batwoman. So what am I going to fucking take any notice? Sorry for swearing and that. I went off on a rant, but yeah.
No, all good, all good. I actually got a few things that I got to do in a minute, and we ran for over 2 hours. I think we had a pretty good conversation. Everybody in the chat has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming out and having some fun. Oh, look at that, like 49 likes. Holy crap. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. It's always so much fun to be able to talk about this stuff. I know we got a little bit off on the end, but it was kind of one of those things. You just never know where the discussion panel is going to go in the end. But I think we had a lot of good opening topics, talking about Police Academy, going into Thundar, talking about a few of the other franchises that we remembered that were very similar to those, and all the conversations you guys have been bringing up in the chat. You all have been absolutely hysterical tonight. I love every single one of you coming out and sharing this experience with us week after week. It does mean a lot. I mean, I think a lot of us are still going through a lot of shit that's happened over the past, even year, not even just the past few weeks. It's not just JJ or it's not just one single person. Like every single one of us has lost a lot over the past year.
The past 2 or 3 years. What are
Yeah,
you
well,
talking about?
for me, it's going on 4 years now. Like when it first started with all the ridiculousness, but you know what? We find our ways to get through it, and one of the ways I like to do is talk about the things that we love from the past. I'm going to really try to get a lot more topics for next week. I've had a lot of things going on, helping out with my brother. Just came back from the nursing home and watching out for him, trying to take care of him and do all that stuff too. I'm kind of crunched for time right now, so it's a little bit more difficult to actually prepare for these streams. But I'm doing the best I can, and I'm going to work a little bit more this week when I have the free time and get everything set up for next week. Hopefully way ahead, so I'm not going to have the problem where I'm last minute trying to crunch everything together and get all my topics in place before we jump on and have this stream. Hopefully I'll be able to get a few more different people to show up next week. I've got a nice wide circle of people that are always available to stop in anytime they want, and if there's something that they want to talk about in particular. If you are somebody in the chat right now, if you want to be able to come up and talk about a particular franchise yourself from the past, just reach out to me. My DMs are open. I'm not hiding from nobody. I'm not hiding anything. So if you want to reach out and you want to be on the show, just reach out and let me know. I'm not going to nibble you much. I can't say the same for the rest of the collective, but I promise I won't take off toes or nothing. But thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate you all being here. Jens, let them know where they can find you and what you got going on.
Actually, so, I've got like a Twitter account at 27A Pedersen and the YouTube channel where I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow between Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday morning. Is probably usually Wednesday mornings, but if I can't do it like usually Wednesdays, late night Tuesday, early Wednesday sort of thing, then I'd do it sort of early. But I've got to do a video and all, which will be coming out, and yeah.
Awesome. No, I know there's a bit of a gap left in some of the stuff that we normally would show up with with him gone, but I mean, I think it's time for some people to step up and do him justice by carrying on what he started. I mean, I'm really hoping this Slasher starts really getting back into doing the movie reviews on Wednesdays. And I hope to start seeing you over there more often too, Jens.
Yeah. Well, like I watched a film and that was Slasher, the Bad Bet. And that, and like, I've been waiting for another sort of film for him to do. But if he don't, I'll be doing, because I've got like that Remo, Underarmed and Dangerous, that I could do a movie watch on a Wednesday if no one else does one week.
Well, and I would definitely hit up with Slasher. Like maybe you guys can rotate it.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people jumping in last minute, like Frog G, Mr. Miles. What's going on? Fluffiest God, what up, buddy? Yeah, and Shellback, what do you got going on, buddy?
Not really a whole lot these days on the channel, because my schedule's gotten all switched around, and so but I give people a little hell there and there on Twitter, and other than that, all I can really say right now is get your boosters.
Get your boosters, everybody.
Trust the science. Trust me. I am the science. Get your boosters.
Don't listen to that guy. Go to Infowars.com. Captain Trek, what's going on, Captain Trek? Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you to Shellback and Jens for coming up on the panel with me. Make sure you guys are subscribed again. Make sure you check out Slasher on Wednesday. Slasher is going to be doing another movie. Awesome. If I can, I will try to stop in. I can't make any promises right now because things are absolutely insane right now with the amount of things that I got going on. But thank you so much, everybody has stopped by in the chat. You all are amazing. You are the best chat on YouTube. And remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent, and we're going to take you out the same way that we brought you in. And I'm hoping to see a lot of you on Thursday with Vinny, with Rogue Entertainment, Collectible Past, hosted by Two Guineas at 7:45. It'll be on my channel until eventually Vinny gets done with Shadow of the Kraken, and he got that project mailed out to people, and then we're going to start rotating that between my channel and his. So we'll catch you all next time. Later, y'all.